Canada is making international headlines, and not in a positive way at all. It's actually the opposite for its incompetence and lack of management. And well, one of the people who has been at the forefront of just absolutely criticizing and destroying our politicians here, Justin Trudeau, Chrystia, Freeland, has been Kevin O'Leary, along with, Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, Elon Musk. But today we're focusing on Kevin O'Leary. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage you guys to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet already. It does really help grow the channel. And just a gentle reminder that this is indeed the extra channel, so I may look familiar from other ones, but I would really appreciate if you guys showed this one the same love that you do all the others. And without further ado, let's get into this video. So we're going to start off with the polls. The Conservatives, after the by-election, it looks like it hasn't updated yet. They're still sitting at the previous 209 projected seats. I am firmly under the impression that this is going to absolutely skyrocket when it does finally update, and it's going to do the exact opposite for the Liberals. It's going to just go right down to the pits of hell, essentially. And I think they're going to drop down below 60 projected to maybe 59, 58. So we're going to have to keep our eyes peeled for that. 99% likely win in most seats and 99% likely win in majority government. So no changes there. Keyword is yet. This by-election is making tidal waves, and Kevin O'Leary is using this opportunity to say what he has to say, but a lot of other people are as well, and you're going to see some massive changes in the Liberal cabinet. It's not just me saying it. It's the mainstream media. It's other people. Everyone is under the firm, most normie of normie impressions that Justin Trudeau, the only way the Liberal Party will ever have a chance of its reputation having any sort of merit, which it doesn't really right now, but maybe if they make drastic changes, and that would mean resigning, Justin. Everybody is saying it. The mainstream media, YouTubers, social media, politicians, his own party, for crying out loud, and probably his own brother as well. But that's a whole other story. Without further ado, let's get into this interview here. So Kevin O'Leary says that we don't have a real finance minister. She is a very bad, underqualified manager. I don't mean any disrespect. I'm just saying why can't I have a real finance minister? And I think that the majority of Canadians would absolutely agree with that. She has literally said that budgets will balance themselves. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She has made a mockery of Canada. And let's get into this interview here.
Most of the accounting firms here have been advising their clients over the last 90 days about all the strategies we're doing to exit Canada, to sell assets here, to pay taxes on them now and move them elsewhere. And so you're starting to see that migration of capital already. And I would argue that that's a policy mistake in terms of the competition between, you don't want to be at the bottom of corporate tax rates in the G20, and you don't need to be at the top. You want to be in the middle somewhere. So we're going down into the fourth quartile of competitiveness, which is a horrific mistake, from somewhere in the middle.
And it's horrible because the government is consistently saying that we are a AAA credit rating country and that we are the best out of the entire G7. And it's not true. I don't know how they're legally allowed to spread these types of lies, but here we are. Our own government uses their national broadcasting corporation and resources, and they spread lies, and they trot around the world to other places, and they lie about Canada. We are not doing good. Like no time in Canadian history since I've been alive has life been so expensive. Like, everybody is feeling it. Doesn't even matter if you made $200,000 per year, which 5 years ago, that was like insane money. Oh my God, you'd be living in a massive 6-7 bedroom house, and that $200,000 a year, it doesn't hold the same value as it did even 4 years ago. And that's because of our liberal, incompetent government.
And again, trying to be, I want to be respect Freeland because she is the finance minister, but I don't know why she's the finance minister. She has no experience at this, and she's never even run a bank. I mean, I don't know why she's there, and she's totally unqualified, and here she is making policy mistakes.
Yeah, well, that's the same thing with Justin Trudeau. Is he's not qualified. I don't even think he has a political science major or degree. He was a failed drama teacher, and there's a whole whack of, you know, conspiratorial things and that kind of follow him through the ending of his teaching career at West Point. Right? It's just not. It's not good. These people, they paid to play, or they pulled strings to get elected, but this is the definition of nepotism, and it's gross. It's absolutely gross. They don't deserve to be in this position, and it's not being from other than just the only critical point is they don't qualify. Imagine a CEO of a company is a grade 7 person, grade 7 kid. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You don't have the qualifications. How did you get here? That same maturity level is how we kind of view Freeland and Justin Trudeau. They have no idea what they are doing. And as a result, Canadians just don't respect them, which is not a good place for a government to be.
Left and right, and here's a bad one. And this costs Canada. It's very expensive to make mistakes like this. The damage she's doing now will be felt, if it doesn't get repaired immediately, for decades. And so bad managers do a lot of damage, and she is a very bad, underqualified manager. And I don't mean any disrespect. I'm just saying, why can't I have a real finance minister? Why can't I have somebody who actually was involved in financial services in this country? Why do I have that? And she works for me. I'm a taxpayer.
Well, speaking of taxes, the former head of the CPPIB was concerned that this change would pull forward a lot of tax revenue for the current year and the current government, and then create some complications down the road. So if we're trying to find a recipe for tax revenue for Canada in the future, where you can grow the economy, have a productive economy, but not deal with the tax issue by just having overtaxation of your citizens, you talked about the missed opportunity on natural resources. What else do you think we could be doing over the long term?
I've preparing this, I'm like everybody else. I blew out a lot of assets and I moved them elsewhere. I'm going to pay the capital gains under the old, which I thought was fair.
So you did. You
Oh yeah,
you took
everybody
steps
has.
before.
Everybody has done that. It's just the government signaled it. We all made our moves, and that capital won't be coming back here. I think the best thing to do is to do an overall. I look at it this way. I always want to respect leadership because it's so hard to be a politician. Remember, I tried it once myself. It's not easy, and I respect what they do. And Justin Trudeau and his cabinet have done, they're very successful in terms of the longevity. But I really believe this to be true now. Canada, as you look at resources per capita, is one of the richest countries on earth run by idiots. And so what I'd like to see is a spatula in terms of policy. A big change here, big change in leadership, big spatula, scrape everybody out of there and start from scratch and reboot the country, Canada 2.0. We could be so competitive here. Look at Norway versus us. Back in the 70s, Norway put energy policy in place that paid a royalty to sovereign wealth. They didn't squander their money. They're the wealthiest people on earth, or one of the wealthiest per capita. But we started the same week with the same oil in Alberta, and we just pissed all that money away in this country. And we could have been Norway. We can do it again, is my whole point. This place desperately needs leadership that understands the potential of the country and what to do in terms of putting the right people in the cabinet positions. You need qualified individuals in the parliamentary system. We have unqualified, weak managers. And I mean no disrespect, but I wouldn't let them run a bodega. They don't know what they're doing. And, here I am ranting and raving, but I think a lot of people feel this way about this country. So much potential, so squandered, weak leadership. Let's change it.
Well,
that is exactly how the majority of Canadians also feel, Mr. Wonderful, Mr. O'Leary. It's about time that the Liberals really see what's going to happen, right? They're going to be voted off of the island. Like this stronghold, this by-election was the perfect thing that that these politicians needed to see was it's not just clicks and views, it's not just social media rhetoric and online yada yada. It translates into real views or real votes, sorry. And people did show up and they voted, and as a result, conservative MP won that riding, and there's no way that Freeland is going to get reelected. There's no way that Justin Trudeau is going to get reelected. It's going to be a complete wash. Like, the Liberals are going to lose across the board, and it's very scary because they are ramping up the social programs. They are either doing this on purpose and ruining our economy for the next 15 years by putting us in all of this debt, or they are just so dumb and so uneducated and so delusional that they actually think that doing these things, even though there's no tangible evidence that would show that they are going to be reelected, they're doing this in the hopes of what? It's so clear to everybody, not just our bubble on social media, not just our algorithm. We just saw it with the elections, for Christ's sake. Like, it's right there in front of them. And I mean, if they don't start cutting back on these social programs, we might be screwed for the next 10, 15 years. And unfortunately, Pierre Poilievre is going to be the one to inherit this massive disaster, this catastrophe. But I do think that there still is time, even though, Kevin did say, Mr. O'Leary did say that we're soon about to hit that point of it's irreversible. But I don't think, and he doesn't think, that we're there yet. But that's a great time for me to ask you, the audience, are we there yet? Is the damage irreversible, or can we fix it after the next election? Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where we're going to end the video. I'd love to know what you guys think about any of the points that Kevin or myself had to say. And on your way out, I'd like to encourage you guys to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet already. It does really help grow the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.